Good afternoon, I'm the Modern Warfare historian, and today we will talk about the V-2 rocket. What was the V-2? The Vergeltungswaffen-2, technical name Aggregate 4, was the world's first long-range ballistic missile. It was developed in Germany during the Second World War as a strategical, sometimes even tactical, weapon. It was the first artificial object to cross the Kármán line, making it the first object to travel into space. After the war, a lot of unused rockets were captured by the Allied forces, who used them to develop their space programs. Now I understand that this is a complex subject, therefore I've decided to separate the video into 4 parts. First, we will look at how it works, then we will see the development and production, and then we will learn about the usage and results. Keep in mind that this will not be an in-depth technical description, but rather an extended introduction to the rocket. If you're interested in a technical description of the V-2, please let me know down below in the comments. And now, let's get started. What is a rocket? Simply speaking, a rocket is something you can use to bring something or someone from point A to point B, just like a jet plane or a car. How is this achieved? At school, we understood that any action has an equal and opposite reaction, Newton's third law. When you push something back, you go forward. There is a common misconception that rockets go because they push against the Earth. No, they do not. A rocket goes forward because it throws something backwards, just like you would do if you were on a swivel chair and threw something away, like a ball. A rocket is similar to a jet engine, where air is sucked in, compressed, mixed with fuel, ignited and expelled at high speed. However, jets cannot go in an air-free environment, while rockets can. This is because rockets carry with them both fuel and oxidizer. In order to create enough energy to move the rocket, fuel and oxidizer are mixed in the combustion chamber. The products of the reaction are then expelled at very high speed through the nozzle. To go from point A to point B, we use a path called trajectory. In the case of the V-2, the trajectory is ballistic, because to go upwards it uses the power from the engine, and to go downward it uses the pull from the gravitational field of our planet. The highest point reached by a body in a ballistic trajectory, being it a rocket, a projectile, or even a person jumping, is called apogee. Let's see some data from the V-2. The height was of 14.03 meters, and it was higher than a 4-story building. The mass was of 12,500 kilograms. That's basically 2,100 medium-sized cats. The diameter was of 1.65 meters, and that's basically a person from Finland laying down. And it was able to bring a 575 kilogram warhead to a distance of 320 kilometers. That's 200 miles if you love burgers. The warhead had ample as explosive matter, 900 kilograms to be exact, while the rest was the casing. The most important thing in a rocket is the engine, so let's talk about that. The military version of the A4 used the Ofen-B engine. This engine provided 252 kN of power at liftoff and burned for 68 seconds. The pressure inside the chamber was of 215 psi and had an ISP, that's basically the efficiency, of 1991 Newton per second over kilogram at sea level. The engine used a combination of 74% ethanol-water mixture called B-stuff for fuel and liquid oxygen for oxidizer called A-stuff. To move the 8.61 ton of fuel and oxidizer, a turbo pump was used. To move the pump, a steam turbine was used, with steam being produced by the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide on a sodium permanganate catalyst base. Fuel and oxidizer, contained in aluminium-magnesium alloy tanks, would be emptied in 68 seconds, so the pump had to deliver 126.6 kilograms of liquids every second. The pump would run at 4000 rpm, and the liquids were ignited by electric igniters. The combustion gases exited the chamber at 2820 Celsius degrees and at a speed of 1981 meters per second, around 6,500 feet per second. While the oxidizer was simply pumped in the engine, the fuel was pumped at the bottom of the nozzle. It will then go upward in the double wall of the chamber and then in the injectors. This process helped to cool the engine and heat up the fuel, making everything more efficient. To provide guidance, the rocket used fins. 4 were placed on the tail fins, while 4 graphite ones were used to modify the trajectory by modifying the exit stream from the motor. The trajectory was maintained with the help of 2 gyroscopes, one horizontal and one vertical, and a pendulous integrating gyroscopic accelerometer that determined the cutoff of the engine at a determined speed. This system enabled the V-2 to have a 600-meter dispersion range. Considering the very high speed and the distance, this is quite a remarkable result. The launch will be done in a pre-surveyed location, so the distance and azimuth were known. One of the 4 fin number 1, would be aligned to the target azimuth. Some later V-2 used radio signals from the ground as guidance assistance, but those accounted for only about 20% of all military launches. This system, called branchless, will be discussed in future videos. The 910 kilograms of Amatol 6-40 was contained in the nose cone, protected with fiberglass. It had an impact fuse that ignited the explosive when it touched the ground, that could create craters up to 20 meters wide and 8 meters deep, which is great if you hit the target though. We have now reached the end of the episode. You can now go ahead and impress your history nerds friend with your knowledge on the V-2, or even better, share this video with them. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay safe when using the time machine.